Okay, so we're continuing the series of me playing tournaments in Arizona. So I'm in the same tournament that I was in at the last table talk. We're at 400, 800 now. I've chipped up. I've got a bunch of chips. I'm one of the chip leaders at the table, if not the chip leader. I'm on the button, and there are 4 limps to me onto the button, and I have pocket 8s. Okay? I have about like 70,000 chips or 65,000 chips or something. I'm not the effective stack in this hand, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay, so first question. With 4 limps to you, you have 8s. What are you doing?
Are any of them like 20 blinds or less, the limps?
No.
Are any of them 30 blinds or less? Probably.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. There may be one person who's like 20 blinds, actually. Mostly they're, have like, probably 30 to 40 blinds.
Okay. So
some of them maybe 50.
4 limps, and it's on you? I think we're making it 4,500-ish.
Okay. What are you hoping is going to happen at 4,500? Just that you take it down a lot, or
taking it down is a good result with 8s in this spot.
Yep.
Playing multi-way is not ideal against short stacks that have a lot of jams on the flop. So I don't mind taking it down. I don't mind getting it heads up. Both of those things are great results. I'm happy with both of those things. Yeah.
Okay. So I went a different direction. I don't know. I played this whole hand I wonder about. So I decided just to limp the button.
Okay.
One, because I didn't think I was going to get many folds from these guys unless I made it really, really big. One hand, I won't get into it. I played another hand where I learned that even going super big as a squeeze just didn't work against surprisingly mediocre holdings. So 8s is sort of like not the kind of hand I figured I wanted to do that with. And the other reason why I decided to call was because the fun player, the guy from the last table talk who tried to bluff me with 2 7s on a board where I had a set and just kept going and raise turn, raise river against me. And he was on my left, and I wanted to keep him in the pot, basically. I wanted to give him a chance to I thought that's where I was going to get the majority of my chips. It was like a really easy place to get them was from him. So I limped. That's very questionable, I'll acknowledge, and maybe wrong. But I did. The small blind completes, the big blind completes, and we go to a flop. Come play with us on Clubs Poker. They have ring games, they have tournaments, and there's always a game going on, always.
I have been dabbling on Clubs Poker for a little bit, and honestly, I'm pretty impressed. They have great software. I can play multiple tables on my iPad. They also have great desktop software, and there's no funny business. It's a US-based company. You don't have to deal with crypto or anything. All of the redemptions go straight to your bank account. Join using our affiliate link, and we'll see you at Clubs Poker.
The flop is, I don't know how, but it's Queen 10-8, Rainbow. So I flop bottom set, and it's once again.
It is 7 ways, though. Right, so it's like Jack 9 is out there for sure. And
for sure. But like we're just gonna have to live with that, I think.
Yeah, higher set. The nice thing is that higher sets are really unlikely. So you're like the board pairing is almost always going to win you the pot.
Right. And I knew Jack 9 can be out there, but it's often not. Right. Like whatever. Okay. So it checks all the way to the cutoff. Who bet 6K into 7K.
And the cutoff has how many chips?
The cutoff has about 27,000 or so, maybe 30,000. Actually,
they're going to have to go with hands that are pair and straight draw, so I think we want to raise right now.
I wasn't sure if that was true. I feel like when they bet 6K and they get raised, I don't know if they're actually going to go with them or not. Maybe I'm just like overthinking it.
They could also have top 2, which is a pretty good result.
Well, yes, they're going to go with top 2 for sure.
Yeah.
If they have top 2, we're getting it, no question. So I thought about it and decided to play it sneaky, mainly, again, to try and keep the fun player in, because I know the fun player's calling with a surprisingly wide, having now played with him for about an hour.
I think you're too focused on the fun player. I
agree.
I think maybe this guy needs to get witness protection against you. Are you following him home from the grocery store? Like, this guy must have bought too many beans. He's going to leave some beans out, some value beans out for me.
I watched him try and win almost every pot he was in. And like with big bets and stuff like that throughout the last hour, including the one against me, but not just against me. I watched him do it a lot. And so I was like, if I can keep this guy in, there's a great chance he's going to bet big on turn or river. And so I felt if I raise, he's 100% folding unless he somehow has a true monster.
Did you think there was a chance he would squeeze if you called and raise right now?
I didn't think it was that likely. I thought it was more likely he'd probably call. I watched him call like a lot on flops with people behind him with completely disconnected from the board and stuff like that, like repeatedly. Like it's queen, queen, 4. There's people behind him. He calls with 9, 10 off on the flop, stuff like that. So I thought like I'm going to give him a chance to put some chips in here, man. So I called. I acknowledge this may be a really bad decision, and I know I'm taking a chance because, of course, the board could get scary.
Yeah.
So as I'm putting out the chips, I'm like, all right, sometimes this is really not going to work out.
Yeah, but I think a lot of players are too focused on protecting their hand at all costs, and that's not always the right way to play. It's okay to take a risk. Sometimes even when you have a big hand, you take a risk where sometimes you will lose or have to fold in the future, and I think that's okay. So if it's a calculated risk, I like the idea.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. I wasn't sure even at the time. Like, this may be a little too fancy. Like, a raise is so obvious here. But whatever. Yeah. I decided instead of winning the current pot, which is like 19K in it before I put any chips in, I was going to try and win a bigger pot. And, like, we'll see what happens. Okay, so I do it. The fun player does call. Everybody else folds. And we go to the turn. So the turn is sadly an offsuit 9.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew that was going to happen.
Come on. Yeah. That's not good. Look, the fun player checks. The cutoff thinks for a while and checks. And what do you want to do here?
Check.
Yeah. I checked very happily.
Yeah.
Like, okay, now this is well set up. I've seen the fun player bet on 4-card straight boards with 2 pair for value, bet like pot size bets and stuff like that. So that seemed pretty good to me. It seems unlikely that the guy to my right, the cutoff, has me beat because he checked here. He could, but it's unlikely.
I mean, he's got a set of 10s if he has you beat.
Yeah, and whatever. I don't think he has that. I'm not worried about that. Okay, so the river is a 7. So now the board is queen, 10, 9, 8, 7.
So there's 2 4-card straight
There
options.
a 6 or a jack makes a straight now. The fun player bets 10K. So that's 10K into 25, I believe. No, it's 10K into even more, into like 31. Okay, so that's a guy... I believe it's possible we're beating some of the time based on the past, not always. And then the cutoff starts grumbling to himself. I'm sitting right next to him, but he's clearly grumbling to himself. He's not acting. And he says, I got to see it, and puts out the 10K. So
he has queen 10 a lot of the time, I feel like, when he
or
does that.
some 2 pair. Maybe it's queen 9. But some 2 pair hand is what it feels like he has. I was sitting there and I thought at the moment, I'm like, I've got that guy beat. Like, he's not acting. He does not have a straight. I'm beating him. So the question is, what do we want to do here?
If he's really not acting, by the way, what a massive mistake. If anybody watching can learn something from this video, and I know a lot of you already know this, but like, don't do that. Don't externalize your thought process at all, ever, while there's still action pending.
It's a
terrible
huge mistake.
Yeah.
Because like if he put out the call and felt differently as he put it out, I really might fold. Yeah. But now I don't think I can because I'm sure I shouldn't say I'm sure. I'm like 90% I'm beating him, 95%.
Yeah, with the fun player being the fun player and this guy grumbling the way he did, I think it's a mandatory call with the price that you're getting. And it doesn't hurt your tournament that much.
Right.
So
that's what I thought too. I was like, maybe I still win this big pot that I was hoping to win. Maybe. I don't know. So I put in the 10K. The fun player does indeed have jack 7 off. So he called a pot size bet on the flop with just the gutter and nothing else going on. Sort of was the plan even. Yeah. But he got there and the board didn't pair. And although the board had pair with, but the other guy did have queen 10, by the way. So like looking back, I'm like, well, if we had raised pre-flop, if we had just raised on the flop, maybe things would have gone really, really well. And instead they went poorly, Yeah.
But I wonder
this was that
if
chance we were talking about. Yeah.
I wonder if there's a sizing tell with the fun player. Like, I wonder if he would have gone bigger had he been bluffing or had like a hand that didn't feel like he was guaranteed to win with.
Yeah, I was wondering that too afterward. Like the fact that he went small, it felt like now he's like going smaller for value because he actually doesn't want to scare us off, as opposed to betting pot when he's got 2 pair on this 4 straight board, which is what he did like 7 hands earlier against, by the way, the same cutoff player, which he beat. The guy called and 2 pair was good. So yeah, I was wondering that too afterward, but I was getting such a good price, and I was like, maybe the fun players, because we're 3-handed, is a little more afraid. He's betting his 2 pair or even 1 pair, or who the hell knows what's going on with this guy. Of course, he's the guy who could just have a random 6 too, and bet 10K, which does make sense.
Yeah,
but I didn't feel I could raise to try and get him to fold the 6. I don't think he would. I don't know if he'd fold the 6 anyway, but he obviously can have a jack. He did have a jack, and I just lost a pot where I easily could have won it at multiple stages of the hand.
Well, I honestly think it's fine. I think everything you did is fine. I can see where you would want to criticize yourself or where somebody else might. And
Yeah.
you didn't play it standard, but I am often an advocate of playing non-standard, especially when there's an exploit available. So I like that you attempted that, and I think all of your decisions make sense based on the reads that you had.
Yeah,
So
I don't.
it's fine. And
I
the
don't
fun
hate
player,
that
by
I
the
did
way, got paid by being the fun player.
Yes.
So there is some advantage to being that guy, for sure.
There is. Now, if he had a bunch of other hands and bet that 10K, he just cost himself an extra 16,000 chips post flop. But I watched the stack be pretty volatile the whole time.
I believe that.
He did end up busting me though. Damn it.
Good for him. I'm happy for him again.
Yeah.
Sick and tired of being tired of being sick. In my head 24/7, how I'm supposed to pay the rent. Mr. Practice, I don't play. Friday nights we on the bench, trying to come up with a play. If it don't work, then hit a lick. So if knocking at my door, pain ain't tell. I'm studying her word, prayer. Baby excel, got away with way too much. Should've got expelled, but the school saw my potential. Smart kid trying to rebel. Yeah.